Hi guys, hello. So I managed to put my foot through our ceiling yesterday. Thought I would tell you about that because why not? Up in the loft, prancing around on the little joists, lean over to turn off the light up there, foot straight through the fucking ceiling. Yeah, luckily it's not that bad, and we have a neighbour who's very good, and he's come to help us fix it with the plasterboard, and we're going to plaster it. Well, he's going to plaster it because I don't trust myself. But yeah, I've put my foot through our ceiling. Yay. So I am gonna talk today about a missing person job. And I had a couple of dealings with this job. So it came in as a call from the missing person's sister. So the missing person is like a 40-year-old man, and his sister is a similar age, phoned up, and I took that report, asking the things like, where was he last seen, what was he wearing, is he in a relationship with anyone, is he got any dependencies, like as in like alcohol, drugs, you know, any misuse there. And it turns out that he has a girlfriend. They're very on and off. They're both technically homeless, but I think they were like living in their mate's canal boat. So they're both heavy drug users, and looking at the pictures and stuff you can tell that. So they're both very withdrawn and skinny and not much personal hygiene by the look of it. You know, very dirty clothes. So they're one of those couples that, you know, argue all the time, splitting up, getting back together, doing drugs, etc. So not necessarily out of the norm for that sort of missing person, for a missing person like that, really. So there weren't that many alarm bells at first, so we sent it across as normal. And I remember a couple of weeks later getting another call, and this time it was a call from another family member. I think may have been a cousin or something, and she was really fucking pissed off. So she's like shouting down the phone at me saying, why the fuck has nothing been done? And I said, oh, let me have a look, because I took this initial report, let me see what's going on. So I looked into the report on the system, and he hadn't been found yet. Like I say, it's a couple of weeks later. And I could see that she'd phoned up a couple of days ago to say that somebody had witnessed the bloke's girlfriend push him in the canal, which is quite a serious accusation. So I'm kind of obviously really cautious about what I tell her from what I see, because by no means am I allowed to disclose anything just as a call handler over the phone. It has to come from an officer if there has been anything. And also, I don't know who she is. She could be just somebody fishing for information. So I can see that she's phoned up, and there's not really been an update since, you know, her report of saying, well, as you know, I believe there's been a witness to somebody pushing him in. So I tell her that I'll get an officer to phone her back and discuss it with her, and that we'll be taking it seriously, because that is quite a serious accusation. And obviously she's pissed off and hangs up on you. And I make a call to, I think, a duty sergeant, and tell them this information. And I can't remember if at the time it hadn't got through, or if they had been looking, I don't know what happened, but anyway, that I'd done my job there. And then, like I say, a few weeks later, I see on the daily briefing bit on our intranet, it said missing person found, deceased. And these are ones that we were allowed to look into. So I looked into that one, and I was like, oh, it's that bloke that I took the missing person report for. And it turns out that they did search the canal, and they did find him in the canal. So I don't know if there'd been an argument between them and she did shove him in. I don't know. At that point, it was an ongoing investigation, and I didn't get a chance to look back at it again after that. I don't know what happened there, but that was a bit of a weird one, because I remember he was a very regular caller to the police most of the time when he was, like, you know, under the influence of drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And I remember when, you know, you'd get regular callers like that, you would recognise their face and their name, you think, oh, it's you again, it's you again. And yeah, and then to know that that one's just, you know, he's just, you know, that's it now, you'll never speak to him again. And it's so sad to think that these people get themselves in these lifestyles where they are dependent on drugs and alcohol, which is such a common thing, especially at the moment with mental health issues and depression and things like that. And it seems more sad when there's like a couple that are both going through it, because they kind of like, you haven't got like the other one to pull them out of it, you know. They're both in that zone, so they probably both subconsciously and knowingly drag the other one down. You know, say for example, you wanted to come off it or try and come off it, maybe this one doesn't feel like they want to, so it must be really tough to be in that relationship where there's two of you both struggling. But equally, I'm sure there's couples that have both supported each other out. But yeah, so I don't know if she got nicked or what happened there, but that was a pretty sad one, really. But there's also been another repeat caller that had died, and I remember she phoned up all the time talking about her husband. And at first I thought her husband didn't exist. Like, she was a proper alcoholic. Like, she was a really skinny lady from the pictures, and she'd always talk about her husband, and I remember thinking, well, if your husband's there, like, surely, like, throughout these millions of calls we've taken, he would have been in the background and been like, look, just take the phone off her. And I remember once he was in the background, he started shouting, and I was like, oh, I thought he was just, like, made up, I don't know. You never know with these things. But yeah, it turns out she then died through alcoholism, I think, I don't know. But it's sad, like, it definitely opens your eyes to life. But anyway, ignore my half painted wall, as you can tell. I'm going to go now. Have a lovely evening. Catch you on the flip side, motherfuckers. Bye.